Do your investors want you to succeed? Now, if that doesn't sound like a silly question, I don't know what does. But let me tell you that that is a great question with a lot more depth and a lot more teeth than meets the eye. Let me explain. First, here's what you probably jumped to the conclusion about when you heard that question. Do the investors want you to succeed? You, meaning the promoter. They always want the deal to succeed because that's what they're in. But they're not always on the same side of the table as you. And if they're not on the same side of the table, they may hope that the deal wins and that you get somehow pushed out. And that happens all the time. And depending on the kind of structure, the kind of relationship you have with your investors, it could happen to you. So listen to this carefully because it's very, very important. In a hard money transaction, for example, you might have a situation where you make a down payment and then they put up a loan, let's say 50, 60, or 70% of loan to value. If they really want to buy the property or they really want to own the property, and basically hard money lenders typically only loan on properties that they want to own. And if that's the case, they may hope that you get yourself into a situation where you lose the property to them through some kind of a foreclosure action, or depending on what their contract says, some other mechanism. So let's say you lose the property to them. They then get the property that they wanted. They got your initial down payment. They get all that money. So they're getting into the property at a very low price. And then they can go on, fix the property, and do with it whatever it is they want at a much better set of terms than they originally got. And that is how sometimes people who are in the real estate business end up doing a lot of work and not getting any money. In fact, they end up with less money than they started with, which is really a bummer, and they take losses, which are very hard to make up. Private money lenders, the same thing. They're not usually quite as vicious as the hard money lenders because they're usually not quite as sophisticated in these types of situations, but it's entirely possible that they too could make a loan and then you fail and they end up getting the property back, which doesn't work out that bad for them. Now, take a look at a syndication or a fund scenario where you have many investors, more dollars, and you have many more controls built in. Number one, they're passive. They don't have the ability to steal the property from you because all these things have been locked up in advance. So all the details of how this happens get locked up and you're set. Here's the second thing, is that even if they were to gain control of the deal and start making management decisions, that doesn't void the economic interest that you have in the deal. So they still might have to pay you out even if they take over the deal and end up doing all the work. And the majority of the time, the people who invest in these private placement types of arrangements, the syndications, the funds, and those types of structures, they don't want to run these deals. These are doctors, lawyers. These are people that are busy running businesses, whatever they're busy doing. The last thing that they want is to have to take over an investment which they don't know how to run. They don't know who to call. They don't know where the properties are. They don't know how to run properties. They don't have the networks. They don't have any of the tools in place that it takes to be successful in this business. So do not fool yourself. There are very specific times when an investor is not rooting for you to succeed, even though they want the deal to succeed, but you and the deal are not the same. So you want to be very careful. A better structure is going to give you a better outcome. It's going to give you better protection. And ultimately, you make more money and have a better life and all the other things that go with that. So just think about that carefully. This is a great business. Just go out and stake your claim.